So once again, good evening, friends. So in this second part, I want to further elaborate, or I want to have some variation, something like Honorable Nobel laureate Sir Professor Penrose Sir is seeing the gravity. So in this elaboration, and by this elaboration and some modification in our previous episode, we will be able to explain the double slit pattern of shown by electrons. So just give me 5 to 10 minutes only. I will not bore you further, and just a variation I want to discuss with you, and the variation is very simple. So I am changing the screen, and cameraman please share, Rima. Okay, so I am changing this screen, and yes, so this is the flow of light. This is the flow of light. This is step 1. Now this is second step with horizontal part from here to now is here. Okay, this is second. I have some vision problem, so please understand what I am saying. And in third drawing, situation changes like that. Okay, this is third. Now this is fourth diagram, and flow of light in this circular way. Light energy in the form horizontal parts. Okay, these are only 4 figures, but there may be many more figures. So horizontal parts actually create field. Okay, and circular part creates space of atom. Okay, this is instantaneous flow of light. So if you consider gravity as an instantaneous effect, then gravitational field is here. Now in this figure it is 0, and here it is maximum. Before that it was 0. This is something like instantaneous gravity, which we don't observe. But suppose, or you can say this is quantum gravity, not instantaneous gravity. Instantaneous gravity is something which Einstein used or Newton uses. That is different term. It is something like a quantum gravity, in quantum instantaneous gravity. Similarly, in central region represent changing volume of atom, but in this central region instantaneous volume is shown by this structure. This structure changes here, here, here. Energy distribution also changes with this changing volume of atom, but instantaneous energy is always fixed within atom. Within atom, instantaneous energy is fixed. That means in surrounding space, energy distribution may be different, that is field distribution. Instantaneous quantum gravity may be different, but here also overall energy is also fixed, like here. Of course, distribution inside the atom vary, volume of the region vary, but energy is always, atom energy is always E, which is fully conserved. Similarly, field total energy is also conserved. Okay. Now gravitational picture emerges by taking sum total or averaging all these things. So that average volume is E. Instantaneous energy is always E, but average energy is also E. Okay. And this is creates average mass of atom. And average distribution of gravitational field is symmetric. And this is average gravitational field which we observe. Okay. Now we have Penrose variation, something like that. I don't know, I am using honorable scientist name, but forgive me. But I don't either understand physics completely, neither understand physics nor art. I am in continuous flux. Instead of taking this, if we take average picture, then you follow previous episode. And in this previous episode, this average energy, average atom, this average field distribution, all these things can be represented by curvature of space time. And of course, this average curvature of space time, which comes from general relativity, is somehow should be related to integral of psi dot dv. Okay. It is sum total of all the electron, protons, wave functions and over volume, so that it is proportional to total energy. Of course, psi is a instantaneous variable which is showing distribution of quantum energy beneath the atom. Okay. But instantaneous variable of psi integrated over atomic volume, which is changing, gives the average phenomena of space-time curvature provided by general relativity. Okay. Now what is special in this episode is that instead of taking average of all these pictures, if we want to reach this average figure of mass and gravity, so instead of taking this average of all these instantaneous distribution of mass and energy inside the atom and associated field, we take average of these. Instead of taking average of all these figures or states, all these instantaneous states, if we assume that this average picture of mass and associated gravitational field don't come from single atom. This is behavior of single atom. We have taken average. So this is mass of single atom on an average, and gravitational field is also average phenomena. But now suppose if this mass is made up of more than one atoms, as Penrose in an interview with Carl J. Mangal, if this region represents mass of not single atom but 10 to 15 atoms, for example 10 to 17 or 18 atoms, mass represents 10 to 17 18 atoms, so that instead of average over time of this instantaneous figure which is for single atom, at any point of time, if this mass is composed of 10 to 15 such atoms, then 10 to 15 figures with their instantaneous figures in different stages will automatically give this average picture. This is obtained by time average of single atom. This we equivalent to of saying 15 to 20 atoms sharing all these pictures at a time. Okay, so this is Penrose model. Then after 15 to 20 atoms we see gravitational phenomena. Okay, then also instead of one atom you multiply it by n, take average all these things roughly. Then also space-time curvature and wave function may be correlated, not exactly but may be correlated to various degree of approximation. Okay, now we come to the problem of double slit. Now suppose if single electron is shown by this figure and this single electron is shown by flow of light, for example all this figure represent an electron, for example, not atom. Okay, so shape may be this or this, any one of them. But now suppose all these instantaneous figures or all these instantaneous figures is moving also, is shifting rightward also, in shifting rightward also. Okay, and we have double slit, so that this instantaneous flow of light, circular flow of light, moves as a group wave. Wave of what? Wave of instantaneous quantum gravity moves through double slit. Then just before the slit, instantaneous variations which we have averaged here, instantaneous variations of all these figures, all these figures will actually change the instantaneous gravitational field, which we don't realize in practice. But this instantaneous are changing in structure, actually moving, so that every point instantaneous structure is changing as this whole system is moving. All these figures, above figures, are also moving. What I want to say is that in single figure, this is structure at rest. Okay, there may be numerous structures, but a region is fixed. Both electron and field is fixed. So we have average figure of this, average mass of electron, average gravitational field. Okay, but now suppose all these things are moving, we experience only average thing, but all these things, if for example move, then towards a double slit, then all these variations which we have ignored at a single point, at rest we have ignored all these variations, and we are experiencing average mass and average gravitational field. But when all these systems variations are all moving also, and closer to slit, there may be further split. Further light will split in this double slit. This circular moving light will split in double slit. And here, that's why we see a interference pattern. That's why we see, that is, it is something like the single moving electron is something like a gravitational wave which got split at the double slit, so that interference pattern is formed, and of course here rematerialization according to this gravitational distribution takes place on the screen. Okay, collapse occur of this gravitational wave interference pattern, materialization happens, and that's why we see interference pattern. And this is how we can integrate interference of electron double slit with this instantaneous quantum gravity. So double slit can also be explained by this theory. And so I am boring you, I think, and maybe I want to have some degree of coherence in all these types of, from Schrodinger to general relativity to all double slit. A coherence is needed. So a coherent picture first emerge, and then we see what aspects we are seeing. We are seeing or we are feeling on large scale average phenomena of mass and gravity. But when single electron moves from a double slit, then unrealizable instantaneous quantum gravity, actually we realize it in the form of interference pattern of the electrons. Unrealizable instantaneous quantum gravity is actually magnified by the double slit in the form of interference pattern. At the same time, at higher levels, or you can say the gravity we actually see by the general relativity, it is because of average phenomena or average phenomena perceived by us. Here average, it is general relativity actually is averaging of instantaneous quantum gravity, or you can say general relativity is actually represent average behavior of light in a circular region, while electron double slit experiment represent the unrealizable instantaneous gravity breaks into realizable interference pattern. We are seeing double slit experiment not as an average phenomena of circular moving light, which is also moving horizontally also overall as a structure, but actually an effect of instantaneous changes in the structure of light, and which is magnified by the double slit, and so that we get interference pattern of the electron. That I want to say. Thank you, sir. Thank you for watching. Please share the video, also comment on the video. I am not a physics student. I am a BTech biochemical engineer student, chemical engineer student from HBTI Kanpur, UP, India. I have some interaction, some small time courses, not successful in ISC Bangalore, IT Delhi, etc. But as a curious scientific student from any branch, I want to have some coherence between general relativity and quantum physics, with some trying to explain things from my artistic perspective. Thank you, sir.